Alright everybody, Baron here, and welcome to Three Kingdoms Total War. Let's start the ambush of Sunren.
It is quiet here, brother. Too quiet for my tastes. Something feels wrong. Shh. There! Movement in the tree line. An ambush is imminent. We must be ready. If we cross the river, we could escape through the southern gates. Or we could attempt to survive the ambush through force of arms. This hill would make a good defensive position en route, should more forces arrive. Prepare
Should
for
they?
battle.
Oh, they definitely will.
And may your blade strike true.
Alright guys, so this is not a sponsored video. I got to go to Atlanta to check out Three Kingdoms Total War early. I'm very, very interested in the time period, and I'm very, very interested in how they're going to introduce the new mechanics of basically having heroes, like they had them in the Warhammer Total Wars, but now they can have duels. And like, basically, it's showing kind of like battles with these heroes, but they have an even bigger impact on the battlefield. It's pretty cool. So what we're going to be showing today is the ambush of Sunren. Basically, I start as a force, you know, a bunch of different units, and then I get ambushed in the nighttime, right? And so it's just beautiful. I wanted to see like how interesting everything looks. Like I want to get a feel of it. So I'm going to be doing a lot of cinematic clips, like for the sake of like at the cost of tactical prowess throughout the video. But it's better for you guys in that you get to see the up close, like individual combats of the heroes as well as of the units. So by the time we end this, like you'll be like, why didn't he do that? Why didn't he do that? But I promise you that it is more visually appealing, which is what I was going for. I mean, look at this, right? So the game is paused. I'm gonna divide my units up here. I decided to kind of basically take my hero that's better at melee combat, who's also on a horse, with the 2 units of horses, group them up, and send them over into the force to kind of flank. And then with these guys, all of the footmen and the brother, who's more of like a commander, I believe. Like there's different classes of heroes, and I think that the girl, Sunren, I believe it's Sunren, I think she is a Vanguard class. I'm not sure, but either way, the class that she specializes in is basically like duking it out with other heroes. Whereas like the brother is more of, oh man, look at how good this looks. It's more of like a commander, and his buffs. He has some buffs. Look at this guy though. I did not expect him to do that. And he just runs out there, starts hacking away. His horse is kicking. Look at this. The bamboo forests are on fire due to these fire archers we're about to see right here as they release a salvo right into the camera's face. And I'm like, you know what? I should probably counter these guys with some nice cavalry charges. By the way, I'm hoping, I have really, really bad internet up here in Atlanta, and right after Atlanta I'm going to Nashville, but I'm hoping where I'm staying in Nashville is going to have better internet. I want to upload another video where it's actually more of the tactics side of it, and I play it on hard mode, because right now we're on normal difficulty. This is my first gameplay. I just kind of wanted to see how it goes, right? And so I just wanted to, this one is more visual, the other one is more like, if you want to see kind of like rock, paper, scissors mechanics of like swords, spears, and cavalry going at it and playing it on difficult, on the hard difficulty, because as James Dogbert, one of the community managers for Creative Assembly, was saying that like this demo on hard is one of the hardest demos, or I believe it is the hardest demo that they've ever used. So keep an eye on my other channel, BaronVonTactics, where hopefully, if the internet is permitting, we'll have a nice little upload for you there. But anyway, back to the battle. This is this guy. See, look, Jiu. Oh man, Jiu, J-I-U, right here. He was a strategist. If you would have gone back and paused it, and you can see like, so he's better at like buffing and like affecting his men, but he is by no chance. Oh, by the way, I'm about to use a special ability on him. So she's coming in. Or I'm attempting, rather. I'm learning how to use it. I didn't know I had to left click and right click. I asked James and he helped me out. But we'll get to see that. You'll get to see the heroic abilities. But he's a strategist. So he's not very good at melee combat, so I'm going to kick this guy's butt. But it's interesting that, like, you know, the Total War series started with Shogun. So started in feudal Japan. We got Shogun 2. And we haven't had any other, like, you know, Asian-themed Total War games. And, like, when you think about the rich history of China, it's kind of insane to think about that. Because of, like, all that's gone on, the rich history. And, like, this is basically... I think James likened it to, like, basically saying that this period... You know, 190 CE, China is in turmoil. The Han Dynasty crumbles before the Child Empire. Before the Child Emperor. He is but a figurehead, a mere puppet for the tyrant warlord Dong Zhu. And my pronunciation is terrible. It is a brutal, impressive regime. And as long as Dong Zhu's power grows, the empire slips further into the cauldron of anarchy. So, he likened it to basically the War of the Roses that England went through. Where it was just like political turmoil, and you know, when you consider that, like, the War of the Roses was the inspiration for Game of Thrones, like, you can see that, like, a lot of that kind of political intrigue and you know, all the factions and people flipping back and forth is going to play a very interesting role as far as the campaign goes. But it's just, at this point, you know, we're kind of rounding up the enemy's first ambush, and then there's kind of like this interim, and it's like, okay, you gotta get to the hill before the reinforcements arrive, and you're like, oh great, who am I gonna have to fight now? And you can see them, if you look in the minimap in the lower right, you can see they're approaching from both sides, my north and my south, on the minimap. So, and the north one's kind of disappeared because they're walking through the forest right now, so while they appeared on the map. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to this hill, but I didn't notice at the time that there was two forces coming in. I only noticed one. So I did not know that we were about to have a Baron sandwich, and it was gonna get a little bit crazy. But coming up, look at this, see, this is... And I wasn't aware of how to slow down my, the camera movement, so it could have been better. And I found out from James after. But so, if we play this more, and when I stream this over on Facebook, like, we are definitely going to be using much better cinematic skills to kind of just give the best view of this, because I love Total War games. I love doing campaigns. I know a lot of people love multiplayer and all that good stuff, but I love me some campaigns because it's just fun to build an empire and, like, go about it from the macro perspective, as well as be able to hop down and do, like, tactical battles and do them in real time. But so it's fun, you know, to get to do both. But I mean, that's like a hallmark of Total War since the very beginning. Which I played Shogun Total War back when I was in high school. I bought that, and I bought like Rome much later when I could finally afford like a decent PC. And the rest is history, man. And now we play video games for a living, so Lord knows I want to be playing this one. And there's different formations you can do. There's box formations. I think I do a box formation in this one. Hollowed square, do I do it? Please tell me I do it. Look at this. This is awesome. So I figured since that's my unit on the edge there, they're probably gonna get hit from a few sides, and it's one of my stronger spear units. Look at these guys with their little shields, and like their thin spears, and we've got like, they're not spears, but like, I know there's a formal name for it, but basically like when you have a spear, but it looks like there's almost like a sword blade on the edge of it. And that's what happens when you go for the cinematics and you get flanked by the by their cavalry. So there's a lot of like silly, like, oh, why didn't you do this? Why did you do that? You know, and you'll see that on BaronVonTactics when we do this mission, but hard mode, which I tell you what is very, very hard. So here I'm getting sandwiched by those two leaders. You can see them because they have these little icons, and we're gonna get some duels going on, because basically if you kill an enemy leader, his units will suffer a drop in morale when they're like, that's also a hallmark of Total War games, but it's even more richly kind of developed in this game.
Take care you are not trampled on the hoof.
Oh, okay. So these guys are talking the poop to me. So Sun Quan is the brother, and Sun Ren, the sister. They each kind of specialize differently. Oh, there you go. So they both look like they almost have like towers or a shield type unit or like icon under their face. And I wish in hindsight, I wish I would have paused and looked over the details of those generals. And if I can get access to the build again, or, you know, in the future, we can do that. But I feel like that's one of the things. And honestly, like, I'm curious, this is just how my mind always works. Like, forward thinking, I'm wondering, do you think that, or rather, like, now that this system's been implemented, where they've taken heroes, oh, this is gonna be good. I used a special ability. It takes me a moment. I think I even paused. I'm like, yo, James, how do I do this? Because I'm like right-clicking, but you have to left-click and then right-click. Yeah, see? This is the pause. I'm like, hey, how do I use this Heartseeker ranged attack? So you only have 3 of them. And then I've got this other ability that works like when I'm in a duel, which you'll see. And Zhang Lu, a sentinel. Okay, that's what it is. He's a sentinel. I'm curious. I don't remember like which one specialized in what, but I'm like, I believe Sun Ren's the Vanguard. That's their special ability, and like that took out, I think, like a third of that guy's health. Oh, well, actually, like maybe it looks like 40%. So I'm gonna do it again, and then look, I can do duels. So I've decided to challenge him to a duel, and then you can see the little bar between it. Like since I hit him so hard, he's not doing very good. Look how sloppy this battle is because I'm learning these new things and I'm trying to get more cinematic shots. It's funny. I'm definitely more of in the kind of casual genre of Total War player. But man, I love these games. But I mean, it's got something for everybody, right? You want a competitive multiplayer? You can do that. Look at this. Here's the dueling. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope my guys aren't withdrawing right now. But they kind of create this circle, and they just go at it. And I'm like, thinking about using my abilities. You can't use the bow shot, but she's got this other one where she just does this AoE, like ground pound, and I've used that to fight some of them. Ooh, nice counterattack. But yeah, Sun Ren is pretty boss. She is definitely a good warrior. Oh my god, it gets so sloppy. But you can see he's basically almost dead. Yep, Sun Quan has been killed. And I was looking forward to duel them. Yeah, we're gonna have more duels over on BaronVonTactics when we upload that video. It was a good time. I'm very much looking forward to this because they showed me the campaign map, and good lord is it beautiful. The campaign maps have always been impressive, and I think like, especially starting in Shogun 2, they just got amazing. Look at that. Nicely done, nicely done. So as we wind down this battle, I'm curious, would you like to see, like, because there's some really cool mods for a lot of the Total War games out there. I've seen like World War I mod for Empire Total War. There's Lord of the Rings mods for like the medieval 2s. Like, we could do custom battles, which would basically fit as battle simulator in epic battle type videos. I wonder if we could like maybe even do like one a week or one a month. But there's just so many games in the Total War series and so many mods and so many things you can do to create these giant battles. And I could do them really good, like not live gameplay, but after action, and even just like show off the beauty of, oh, look at that. Oh, what a shot. That's awesome. But yeah, that's an option that we could do. I'm curious to get your opinions on that and how many of you guys are excited for Three Kingdoms Total War. But and the cool thing about this is ambushes have changed in Three Kingdoms, because in previous Total Wars, what James was telling me is that if your army gets ambushed and you lose, everybody dies. But in here, you at least have a chance to run to the exit. You have to fight your way there more often than not, but if you can get there, you can salvage some of your units, or in certain cases, you can just go out there and kick their butts. I don't know why she stopped, because I wanted to get a good shot of her just cutting somebody down, but it was not to be. Until like right there when she does it. I need to get better at a camera as a cameraman. But anyway, guys, let me know if you'd like to see more. We're gonna have one video over on Baron Von Tactics, unless you guys really love this, because I have a bunch more battles to show, and I'll see you guys in the next video.